No way.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Three Commoners. You're here with your three hosts, myself, Orade, Vanessa, and Shamon, who's clearly very excited to be back. Happy New Year, my dear
Yes,
February.
yes, y'all. Yes,
Yeah.
y'all.
We haven't seen
Someone,
you
this
guys.
excitement.
Also,
I love you guys so much. It's a great time to connect.
that's so
What
sweet.
other things can I say? I'm
You
just,
mean
ha- I'm just happy to see you guys.
you love your listeners so much, Abby.
Listeners,
Yeah,
subscribers, the chat.
And we want to thank everyone who's stuck with us this far. And also, some of you have just joined us as well, just joined the Three Commoners. We're excited to have you. So watch this space. Lots of exciting content coming. So today is just sort of supposed to be an episode to usher in this new year, 2026, which in my opinion would be amazing for everybody. If you're listening, 2026 will be amazing.
This year,
So
we
this
go
year,
back.
all the things will come to us. So, I mean, what have we been up to? What has everyone been up to since the last episode, December? Everybody was preparing for December to December, But what have we been up to?
Easy.
Catch me up.
Not
Shamon,
much.
what have you been up to? Yeah.
What have I been up to? Honestly, from the beginning of the year, it's been pretty chill. Just trying to reassess what's going back into work. Work's been kind of stressful. December was pretty nice. Went back home to Las Gidi for Decembizi. See how I rhymed there?
It's busy.
What? What? Say
Already,
that
you haven't
again.
caught up to the
already.
You haven't caught up to the new lingo. Decembizi.
He came, actually, no, what you should say is you came to Abegistan for Decembizi, but go ahead.
Really, really. Abegistan was, honestly, I mean, we all love Lagos, but Lagos was stressful. I can't lie.
I don't make it rule.
We shouldn't adopt Abegistan, Abi. Yeah, I'm not for Abegistan too.
It's already been adopted. There's logos for Abegistan and all of that shit. So
There's coat of arms, everything.
Oh my God.
But
So,
yeah,
Vanessa,
I mean, it was fun. Caught up with friends, family. Me and Tayo hung out a bit. Producer Tayo. She's such a flake, by the way. Like she flaked out on many events, but it was a good time.
Welcome to the reality of Tayo. But
producer, are you hearing?
I didn't do much.
They said you're flake.
She's hearing. I didn't do much. I had a pretty chill December. I was in Abuja for most of it. I stayed home. Maybe went to a few family events. Family friends had a thingy to launch their foundation in honor of their dad. So I went to that. Yeah, I went to like some live bands or live band events. Yeah, it's been pretty chill, December-wise. January, back to work, back to trying to make money, back to my French classes. Because allegedly they said we need a second language to...
When are you starting Compassion Life?
I don't know. After Ramadan, I may most likely start Compassion Life. But it's like the gods are telling me not to do it. So like, I'm just like a word, like...
Please explain further. What do you mean?
There's been one frustrating... So when I first started, I needed some letter of evaluation from Ministry of Education. I went and I got that. And then after getting that, that batch left because I didn't get it before the batch went to camp. The new batch in January, I went for my physical verification, which was successful, like everything's physically verified. But on the NYSC website, it kept saying online clearance pending, which I thought was so stupid. Like if you're verifying my documents in person and they are correct, it should automatically just update across all your verification processes that, okay, this person has the complete documents. But it didn't. So I spent the last couple of weeks chasing people to help me get that thing updated to clear. I eventually had to use some connect. I had to talk to some guy. Rather, my daddy had talked to some guy at the naval base that works with NYSC that was able to finally help me get it cleared. I literally got it cleared on like Wednesday. So now it says cleared online and it also says like physical verification done. So hopefully in the next batch, which might be March or April, I can get in and I'm already talking to people because if after April it doesn't come in there, I not do again.
You have to wait. Yeah. NYSC. Well, we need to, I feel like that issue of just things
NYC episode where we just unpack
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
Vanessa's
Not
issue,
even
all
just
our
Really,
NYC.
we
Oh,
can't,
you
but we
did
can't
NYC?
really.
I've
I don't
done
want to
NYC.
unpack early because I've not yet gone through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're done, of course. After,
Yeah.
But my issue is not even just NYC. I think just in terms of the digital, like online things with signing up for anything in the government, it is a problem. But anyways, that's not why we're here today. But oh yeah, I haven't even said what I
Yep.
was up to. Honestly, nothing.
I was literally about to say,
I
how
didn't do
about you?
much. I honestly didn't do much. This winter is one for the yeah, we're still in it. Is one for the books. Very intense, very cold, a lot of snow. So
Intense like weather
I feel like I'm not
or intense how?
intense weather-wise. So it's snowing a lot more than usual. It's very cold. It's colder. Like we're going below. We're going to like -20 more often than is normal. More often than is normal for the city I'm in. So it's just like, who really wants to go out? I'm doing things, I'm going out and whatever, but not as often. And I'm staying indoors mostly. And I didn't travel. So I had some family visits. But I was really, I didn't do much. And same as you guys, back to work, back to real life, just living vicariously through all the Dirty December memes. I show speed. Or what's it? Speed? I speed?
Oh my God.
What's it?
I show speed.
Yes.
That feels like a decade ago.
Yeah, all these things. But yeah, no, that was that was really
Someone
it,
is
to be
in
honest.
Lagos right now too, right? One of all these streamers. Who's
Hi,
that?
Senat.
Is it?
Kai Senat. Okay, so yeah.
Now, wow. Hope I beg you stand.
Yeah.
I've not followed you.
Oh, too late for that. Too
Nigeria, which
late.
in December. That
Yeah,
much
but I just want to
say,
say
like,
that
it was fun. Super stressful. So you didn't miss, and you also kind of missed.
I don't think she missed much, to be honest.
I have no plans to ever do Dirty December. Not even a little bit.
That's
if I
fair.
ever go to Nigeria, it won't be in December. It just sounds very chaotic. Shout out to those who do it. It's not for me because I like peace and
Wait, but how about
enjoyment.
Abuja? I don't think Abuja is that chaotic, actually.
No,
right?
Abuja
Yeah,
is not
so
even, it's not half as chaotic as Lagos.
Yeah, I could do December in Abuja for sure, but Lagos, no, it's not looking likely.
Never
but
say
yeah,
never,
so
or do you never?
fair enough. Never say never. That is true. But for now, if I had to choose, I'd rather go somewhere else. That's my conclusion on that. But I think
Not
one
gonna
thing
lie,
is
I understand.
to December is I don't know, it's an interesting topic because there's a good and the bad. I feel like social media has really been on the bad recently, which is kind of sad. But I think there could be a lot more that we can benefit from that.
For
But yeah,
sure.
we're moving on from that to December. We're slowly entering. Actually, no, we're entering. We are in the Valentine period, so that's like a whole different vibe.
You guys have any plans for Valentine's Day?
Nah.
Really, in the sense of it, my really good friend is getting married on that day. So
Oh,
congratulations, Nasara and Femi.
Oh yeah, because
her wedding is on that day,
Saturday.
so I'm going to spend most of my day. I'm going to spend most of my day at the wedding. So that'll be good. I mean, it's also my birthday, but I'm not doing much on that day.
Yes.
Hey.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really
No
want
plans, no deal.
No plans, loading. Shaman, please remove your leg from my.
I mean, I don't have any plans. I also don't have any plans for Valentine's Day. So
What?
I mean,
Married man with no plans?
I don't
mean,
believe Shaman. I don't believe him.
nothing like amazingly special. Like it.
Let that day come first.
Come on, married
I'm
man.
serious. Like
Right.
I'm gonna do what like couples do on Valentine's Day. You know, the usual thing.
So
but
you
I'm
do
not
have
like we're not going away or anything.
Going
I mean,
away.
yeah, but
have
not
to.
like we're not going
But
away.
you don't have
like
you don't have to go away, or whatever. Like, but you have plans. Like, you're gonna go to dinner.
Will I be a guy if I say that Valentine's Day is like kind of like just corporate marketing charm and all those things? Will I be such a guy if I go into his
There's a bit of that, but we don't really care about that. You know what I mean?
And why women are just like, oh my god, we love Valentine's Day and all the stuff. But guys are like,
But
please.
if you don't stop, nobody cares. Wah, 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 wah.
Is it such a guy's thing to say that?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is actually. You're not the first man I've heard say this in like the last month. So nothing new, nothing different from what some other guys are saying. But you still do something, Sha.
I thought,
So
well, what makes it so special? Like, okay, let's use like 1 minute to unpack why it's like super special. Like, can you guys like what
There's
is the
no,
thing?
so
I
I
mean,
mean
for Vanessa,
Valentine
I get it.
has,
It's your birthday.
yeah, forget even that, because I really do anything on my birthday on that day, for my birthday on that day, because it's always filled with like lover stuff. But I mean, Valentine's does have some people say it's pagan, depending on how you look at it. But like in the Catholic Church, there is somebody called Saint Valentine's,
Mm.
and he's the patron saint for lovers.
Mm.
I forget his exact story, but he was killed. He was martyred for
Mhm.
for the gospel and all of that. So there
Mm.
is a religious connotation to it. I mean, there can be
Mm.
pagan side of it, but I think again, when people celebrate Valentine's, they more so look at it from a romantic lens, but there can be a platonic love lens from it. Like, it's a reminder. It's the same way you have Workers' Day, you have International Women's Day. It's not like you shouldn't treat women rights the entire year, but they just say day set out to remember that, women exist and do stuff that women centric. And I think it's the same thing with Valentine's Day. Just a day
Mm.
that is carved out for you to celebrate like people,
To
and it
show
doesn't have to
love.
be somebody that, yeah, to show love. It doesn't have to be somebody that you're romantically involved with. You can send somebody a care package. It could be a simple message. You could, yeah, so it's
I
dynamic,
just feel like as we
in my
grow older,
opinion.
it's less and less of a like. Remember in secondary school, Valentine's Day. I mean, I never really got the bug, but like people were always like, "Oh my," writing love letters to their lovers. Oh, I love you so much. Take my breakfast for the day.
it
I
was
mean,
such
we're in
it was
secondary
actually a
school,
big
so
deal when we were
those things are
younger. Yeah,
bound
it
to
was a big
happen.
deal when we were younger.
Everyone was so
I feel
tickled by it in secondary school.
I just
Uh,
feel like I'm with Vanessa. I think that what has happened is it's supposed to be a day to celebrate love, platonic, romantic, and all the other things in between, right? But obviously, that doesn't make as much money as targeting couples. Because if you notice all the things that
Mm.
when they're advertising things for Valentine's Day, it's usually you'll buy for your girlfriend, maybe your boyfriend,
yeah.
But typically, for your girlfriend, blah, blah. Nobody's saying, "Oh, buy for your friends who you're not
I
dating, or for
mean,
your parents, for your
Valentine's
siblings."
Day is a thing
Yes, that's
now.
also you can also
Uh-huh.
celebrate the love that you have for those people as well, but it's not really
Mm.
like that. In fact, what I found, and might need to do more research on this, is that I think in some Asian countries they have a day where you do for men and for women. So I think Valentine's Day is the day women give gifts to the men that they like, and then there's White Day, which is men
Oh,
give gifts to women that they like. I think, yeah, I'll need to look up that. But yeah, so
that's
you
very
see, so it
interesting.
makes it, yeah, so it makes it, everybody gets something with that setup. So maybe then the men won't be complaining about
I mean,
Valentine's
women are
Day.
known for like just being amazing gift givers, so that's that too. But I feel
We're not
like
going to get
personally, I just feel like as I've grown older, I've just like I'm less and less like. I remember when it was a big deal. Maybe I'm disconnected from like all this like love things as maybe like when you're in like even uni. Well, this is in
I'll tell you the
university.
problem. Shaman is a married man now with a wife and a child. He don't need to be doing all that. He's not trying to one up
exactly.
himself anymore.
Yeah,
He
found
already
his
got her
structure
locked
with
and loaded.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they found their structure, so that's good for you. But
I mean, that's
all you other
literally
niggas, all you other men, something for your wives. Don't listen to Shaman.
that's no, that's partly true. But I do feel like Valentine's Day doesn't quite have the. Remember when someone took out an ad? Where was this? At CMS for Valentine's Day. Does anyone remember
Really?
this?
People
No,
don't have
just
that
me.
I didn't hear.
dispensable. Nobody has that dispensable income anymore in Nigeria.
Maybe that's the problem.
Or not that. Let me not say nobody. Not that many people have that disposable income, and the people that have it would rather be quiet about their access to
They're
income,
doing.
to that kind of money, or they are doing. So,
Mm,
I mean, times have changed.
yeah. Maybe I'm just cynic now that I'm growing older. That's it, maybe.
Just
I don't
Anyways,
know
maybe.
how.
what else is going on? What else is on our docket for the day, guys?
So we wanted this. So we're thinking, this thing popped up on social media. Right? It's going viral in terms of some people in Nollywood, right? Some key stakeholders or key players in Nollywood have come out to talk about the marketing of movies, what they would do and what they would not do. They don't want to be dancing. So, as somebody who is not on all the social media platforms, Vanessa and Sherman are going to have to fill in the blanks. Who said they're not going to be dancing? And then it started off from there.
First things first. Remove Shemon, because I am not that. I think we have a
Shaman
sort
is
of.
also not dancing.
Well, that is true. I don't really know how to dance. And also, like, I'm not super clued into like social media. Also, I'm not super clued into Nollywood. We do have someone who's like kind of really into the whole Nollywood business.
Oh my god.
We're
Oh my
very
god.
grateful that she's here. And she
Oh my
should
god.
like tell us what's going
Guys,
on.
they're
Just
talking
We
about me.
appreciate
They're
you
talking
every
about
day.
me. Let,
yes.
let it
Take it
not
away,
sound
girl.
like there's somebody else coming on the pod. Yes, I am an Hollywood enthusiast. Yes, I do consume an unhealthy amount of TV in general, reality, scripted, non-scripted, whatever it is. Okay. So Nollywood marketing techniques, like if you're on social media, particularly Twitter, I feel like for the last few days, we've been going on and on and on about Nollywood. There's just been an increase in tweets about Nollywood. But I'll give like some context and maybe a backdrop to what actually happened. I don't remember the exact day, but I know that Kunle Afolayan was at the Nollywood Film Business Summit or some Nollywood Film Business Summit. And they asked him about when he'll be making his return to cinema, right? Because as you know, Kunle Afolayan just dropped Anikulapo on Netflix and has done a lot of Netflix releases in the last few. So they're asking him when will he be making his return to cinema. And Kunle basically said, if you can guarantee, if the cinemas or distributors can guarantee that I'll make XYZ in profit, I will come back to cinemas. And so they interrogated that further and they're like, why so? Like, what's the thought process behind that? And he goes on to further explain that he's not going to dance to promote a movie. Like his job is to make the movie. You understand what I mean? So he's not going to dance to be promoting the movie and, doing all those things. And he then said, I wonder how the likes of Funke Akindele and co are doing it. Or kudos to Funke Akindele and co. Like, I wonder how they do it. Kind of like they have nailed it. They know how to do that dancing thing. And I wonder how they do it because me, I personally cannot. So when that video came out, like clips of it came out, people said he was shading Funke Akindele. People said it was a snacky comment. People said that he was throwing shade because he's not as successful in cinema, all of that stuff. And then Funke Akindele calls him and, kind of basically says, actually, she put out a couple of posts on her IG, basically saying anytime anybody wants to talk about Nollywood, they always talking about Funke Akindele, she leave her name out of it, skinny kitty call. And then she calls him and also says, I beg, like, free me, like, just leave my name out of it. And he's a bit taken aback, being like, I didn't even say anything that was meant to be spiteful. It was just like saying, you guys are doing this thing and it's great that it's working for you, but it can't be the way that we keep doing films across the country because some of us are not going to dance. And if you know that we're not going to dance and that will hinder our success, then we're just not going to, put out cinema films. So he goes on another show the next day or a few days after and says, oh, Funke has called me, and whatever, but I'm not going to banter words, I didn't say anything that meant to be spiteful. In fact, he said he was in either Abuja or Kaduna and talking to filmmakers and basically telling them that they should follow Funke Akindele's thing because clearly she seems to have hacked it to a T. Right. And so I think it's important to know that at that conference he was particularly addressing cinema operators and distributors because they were in the concert in the at the summit. It's one of those few times where actually Nollywood like distributors and cinema operators are actually at the event. It's not like a premiere where it's really just the talent. So he was really more so addressing them, but it spiraled out into a whole different thing on Twitter. People feel he was being spiteful. Some people don't feel he was being spiteful. Okay, so I'll quickly segue it into what's currently happening and what the current discourse is. So I believe yesterday on Perspectives, Ruth Osime, a journalist, had Omotola Jalade Ekende, who I think Omotola has a movie that's coming to cinemas pretty soon. And I believe this might be her first like proper cinema movie. Then she had Mo Abudu, who is a producer, entertainment executive, cinema operator, and all of that. And then she had Moses Babatope. Moses Babatope is like a film exec, mostly distributorship and cinema operations. And so they were talking about the entire Nollywood situation. And one of the things that Kunle Afolayan had highlighted in his speech, if you watch the longer version, was also speaking about the sharing formula for Nollywood, right? And how the sharing formula works, how much a producer can potentially make from a film, even if it hits 1 billion, and just being like, most of that money doesn't come to them. You pay taxes, you pay investors, the cinema gets a good chunk of the cut. By the time you pay everybody, you're barely breaking even. Right? So these three people, Moses Babatope and Omotola, were just there, to kind of shed light on the situation. And it's a very interesting conversation because in recent times and in recent years, Nollywood or cinemas have been accused of favoritism. There's supposedly a cabal that decides who can release movies, when they can release the movies, and how profitable the movies will be. One of the reasons why that allegation is there is because some movies by certain people consistently have prime time hours. You might ask, what is prime time? Prime time, general cinema terms, this is not saying specific to Nigeria, because our market's a bit different, but in general cinema terms, prime times will be Friday and Saturday, and prime times will be evenings. Anything that's after the 4:30 p.m. time when people get off from work, that will be considered prime time. Nigeria might differ a bit because of just how our audience is, but some people are saying that XYZ producers generally always have prime time hours, while indie producers don't get primetime hours at all. So if it's a case of performance and you're saying that indie producers, their films don't perform, have you even given it the chance to perform before you decide that it's not going to perform? AKA, did you even try it on one slot for primetime hours? And it's a bit interesting because I'll use Abuja as my case study since I don't go to cinemas like that in Lagos. But in Abuja, we have 3 cinemas. We have Silverbed in Entertainment Center, we have Silverbed in Jabi, and we have Silverbed, and we have Genesis Cinema in Teddy Plaza. Silverbed Entertainment Center in Central Area is the largest one. I think they have about 7 screens. Silverbed Jabi has about 3 or 4 screens, and then Genesis Cinema has about 3 screens. So if you're doing 5 viewings a day, let's use Genesis Cinema, 5 viewings a day per cinema, that's about 15, right? 15 slots for movies. But why are those 15 slots always being dominated by 1 or 2 people, especially when their movies are in cinema? That was like the morning conversation that was going today, because Ma did touch a bit on, this is the formula and this is how we decide whose films go here and whose films don't go here and all of that. And people are just saying enough is enough. There's an issue with the industry in terms of distributorship. You can go to a cinema and they'll tell you that the time that you saw on their website is not the time that they are showing the film. So you've wasted time and money to get that cinema space, only to be told that it's not the time. The other day, last month, I wanted to watch Iniedo's movie, and I went to Silverbed Jabi because their hours worked best for me that day. I got to Silverbed Jabi. You won't believe it that they told me that the KDMs were not available. KDMs is basically let me just use layman English. KDM basically the tape that plays the film. So in KDM version, it's like an electronic version. You get a key, key digital, whatever, and then you're able to access the film. They were telling me that
the whole job of the cinema, like
the KDMs were not available, and I believe they were not available for 2 days. So now you will say that her film did not perform well that week, without bearing in mind that the KDMs were not available. They were made available to you, but you just didn't make them available in that cinema. Whatever reason it is, there have been so many times you go to cinema, you hear technical difficulties. There are times when you go to cinema and cinema staff are directing you to watch a particular movie and not watch a particular movie. So if these things are consistently happening to you as a viewer, right now the minimum ticket is 8,500 to go see a movie, because 8,500 to see a movie. By the time you add all the other extracurricular things and whatever, I went to see a movie on Saturday. I paid 16,500. 16,500. That was because I got like concession snacks. Just for me. Just for me. Got concession snack, I got a drink, and I got my tickets. I got a shawarma, I got a drink, and I got my tickets. And yes, you can go see the movie without food. But I mean, why are you in cinema? Popcorn is 5K. So even if I didn't get the shawarma, I'll buy the film ticket 8,500, add 5K to that. That is 13,500.
13,500.
Right. And then the water was like 1,000 naira. So add that, that's 14,500. already for me to go see the movie. So if I'm going with my partner, that's like 20-something thousand. Heck, call it 30K because I use gas to get there. So I'm going to pay for that gas one way or the other. So call it 30K for a couple to go see a movie, right? If I'm going to dedicate my time to go and see a movie, it makes no sense for me to get there and you're telling me that it's not available. It makes no sense for me to get there and you're telling me to go watch a movie. It makes no sense for me to get there and you tell me that this one, the viewing time one happened to me at Silverbed Entertainment Center in Central Area. I got there, I had to wait like an extra 30 minutes because they said the viewing time that they advertised is not the viewing time that they are using to show the film. So we have a system in Nollywood that is faulty. Certain producers, in my opinion, are definitely favored. Because tell me why Funke Akindele is behind the scenes. Great movie. I don't have an issue with it. I saw that movie in December. Well, in February, that movie is still showing in cinemas across the country. And in Genesis Cinema, for example, in Abuja here, that movie still has prime time. It's 2 months after. If you've not seen that movie after 2 months, maybe you don't want to see it. And maybe it doesn't deserve to be prime time. But right now, we have two really great, well, I haven't seen the second one. I'll go see it this week. But we have two like rom-com movies that are out right now. Everything is New Again and To Adugo With Love. Last week, To Adugo With Love, the viewing times on first launch week, the viewing time at what's it called? At Genesis was 10 a.m. I'll be 10:30 a.m. Why am I going to see a movie at 10:30 a.m.?
That's the only viewing time.
The only viewing time for that movie was 10:30
behind the scenes prime time.
Behind the scenes still has good hours. If you maybe by the time this comes out, behind the scenes will be out of the cinema. But if you listen to this while it's still in the cinema, go on the website for most of the cinemas and check the viewing times for behind the scenes and over Sabiansi. Heck, at Genesis Cinema, behind the scenes has normal viewing and even has VIP viewing. Go figure. Go figure. The movie I ended up watching only has one viewing too.
This is educative.
It's very like I'm learning a lot. But I think my question then now, okay, so people are talking about this dancing. Oh, I even saw a clip of Muabuji saying I'm not dancing, blah blah blah. I'm going to get to that dancing thing in a bit. But then my question is now, let's say you even do the dance, right? You dance on social media, which is marketing. You're trying to put you go on an influencer's page, you do a TikTok, or whatever. And people see it and they're like, oh, wow, these people are so fun. They're so cool. They make me want to go watch the movie. Only for this customer or consumer to now go to the cinema and say, I want to watch, let's say, Kunle Afolayan's new movie. He doesn't have a movie star, but this is just an example. And then they're going to like, oh, actually, they told you it was showing at 4 p.m., but it's not actually at 4 p.m. or it's showing at 2 p.m. I think my question is, people are talking about the dance thing, but I'm just like, even if you manage to successfully dance on social media and market your movie to the right people,
there's still problems.
There's still problems down the road, So I just feel like there's so many issues coming out of this.
I feel like the dancing thing has kind of overshadowed all the main issues, which is very unfortunate. Like we're now all talking about dancing. Why is this person not dancing? And I mean, I don't want to be that person, but maybe I should. Maybe he shouldn't have just said anything about the dancing, honestly.
No, but I think that it's good that he said it so that people know why he's not doing it. So, and I think I might have jumped over it because they kind of also addressed it. Funke Akindele is an outlier. She's just lucky, right? And she's been at this. She's been dominating the cinema space for the last 5 years. Kudos to her. Prior to that, she wasn't really doing cinema, right? Return of Jennifer was like her big hurrah into cinema. I mean, she had done Omogeto and I can't remember what the other one was, And before that, it was Ebony Life Studio that was dominating the cinema. So with Wedding Party, actually 50, Wedding Party 1, Wedding Party 2.
King of Boys.
Yeah.
No, King of Boys was not in cinema.
It wasn't them.
Ebony Life. Wasn't in cinema for Ebony Life. It wasn't Ebony Life. But you should get it. She's like, Ebony Life used to really have it down, and then she took a break, and I think Funke Akindele kind of took over from them. But the thing about the dancing is not everybody is gifted, and not everybody knows how to dance. Funke Akindele is gifted. She actually knows how to dance, and she enjoys dancing. She dances even when she's not.
Vanessa, I think the dancing thing is why I don't say I have an issue with it. I think the biggest issue, let me say from here, from what you've said and my understanding of everything, the biggest issue is that it's a structural problem. One, I think maybe the biggest issue is there's just not enough money. Even if you make 2 billion, you're like, for all the myriad of factors, let me just Okay, I'll get to that later. I think it's structural issues. My issue with the dancing thing is it seems to have like with everything in social media, people are now focusing on that. I don't think that's the issue personally, because like I think people market. She's a really good marketer using dancing. Anybody else can market what they want to do. But like to all these points, like even if you market your ass off and then all the structural issues are still there, then what have we really achieved? And now we're all talking about
Nothing.
dance.
Yeah,
Well,
I feel
I
like
think we're all talking about dances because Nigerians major in the minor. It's kind of what we do. We just always gloss over what the real issues are.
I have a question, right? So this dancing thing, what does it involve? Because I feel like this dancing thing isn't only happening in Nollywood.
There's a contentification of business in Nigeria.
yes,
Sorry, say that
agreed.
again.
If that makes sense.
Like
There's a
everything is
contentification of business in Nigeria. Every business has to content themselves. And that doesn't sound right or whatever. Some speak good English,
Yeah, they
but
have
you
to
have to. You
market
see
themselves on social
CEOs of
media.
businesses
Yeah,
content.
yeah,
You have to sell your markets. So
yeah.
there's something about our own marketing that's a bit skewed. It's not like the regular, marketing that you see across product. And so you have to kind of think outside the box. That's I think that's the biggest issue or factor. Our attention spans in Nigeria are also really, really short. So you have to do things that are catchy. We like to dance. We love a good beat. We love music. So you see Jen Funke Akindele making songs. She made song for that her Christmas film. You get what I mean? Like those are the kind of things that you would see.
I think
growing
again,
up.
maybe we are not doing it too. I just honestly don't think the dancing is a problem or something. I think it's something, yeah, it talks about the point, which is, even if I do all of these things to all this point, I'm probably to, what's his name? Kunle Afolayan's point, we still have to address the elephant in the room, right? So to me, like, honestly, I think talking about the dancing / marketing is not really, to me, it's not helpful that much. And it's even showing that why aren't you like, you are a studio house. You should market your film. You should try and play the game of marketing. You might not like it, but that's what Nigerians want. You just kind of play to your audience. That's what they want. But I think the main issue is really, I did some half-ass research like just before this. And I think the issue is, even if you make 2 billion in the cinema and then you are barely breaking even, that is a massive problem. That's one of the issues. Like how you make like over ₦1 billion and you are barely breaking even. And then on top of that, you have now all these other structural issues of like, the cinemas are not even working. Like why should they not have the KDMs? Things like that. I'm just like, and then you now add all those problems. Those to me are the biggest problems. And maybe it's all tied to just it's a Nigerian problem, money no day. Because 15,000 to go and watch a movie is wild. I can't lie. I cannot lie.
I mean,
How
especially
many
if you
cinemas
think
do
about the fact that the kind of movies we're producing, I'm not saying that it's not expensive to make. It's just like, it's not a lot of CGI, a lot of technological things going on. And then they're not flying to exotic places to shoot on location because it supports the plot. So I'm just wondering, like you said, if you're making 2 billion and you're not breaking even, what is the breakdown of how the money is, how the revenue is allocated, right? Like what exactly is it going into? So to me, I think the dancing thing
maybe it's the
raised.
dancing. Dancing might be
I think
taking on.
I think the dancing thing raised actual questions and the thing about people dragging him online, that the truth is, on social media, people are always looking for fights. They're always looking for someone to be shady. So the thing that people are saying he was spiteful, that's just typical social media behavior. People are always reading into things that are not there, in my opinion, because I watched the video. But again, different strokes for different. And again, it could be half. You know how Nigerian fans are. They can be very, very toxic. Right. So, and I noticed that Nigerian fans, they're always looking for something where there isn't. So even if you mention their fave, as far as you're concerned, if it's not obviously complimentary, as far as they're concerned, you're shading them. Like there is no listening or reading comprehension with those people. I hope I don't get trouble saying that, but there is no listening or reading comprehension.
On the head.
Nigerian fans are very toxic. They don't want to hear unless you say, oh, this person is the most amazing person ever. To them, anything else you said is shade. Even if you say, oh, wow, she was wearing those black shoes, they'll say you were making fun of the shoes. Whereas you just noticed that she was wearing black shoes. So the fans are in general just toxic. So it's possible it's just people reading into something that wasn't there. But at the same time, I think the talking about the dancing raised important issues because now there's this discussion about sort of the distribution, the structural issues with in cinemas and all of that. So I don't think it was a bad thing that it was mentioned.
Okay.
I think it raised, important topics.
I think the reason why the marketing has taken over the conversation or became like a highlight is because, like you said, her fans are rabid, for lack of a better word. And immediately they saw it, they pounced on it, and they started saying, "Oh, people don't like Funke. They're doing this on Funke." And then her responding that way also give them that ginger of like, yeah, they're doing X, Y, and Z to Funke and whatnot to Labalu. When it was really just a thing of like, if I have to do X, Y, and Z to sell a film, then maybe I don't need to be making film or films through that route, because doing X, Y, and Z is not for me. And that was honestly my takeaway from that blurb about the dancing, And to be honest, I think a lot of times in Nigeria, out of Survivor, a lot of the lines are blurred. Your job as a producer is not to be jumping from pillar to post promoting a movie. You have distributors. That's what your distributors are supposed to do. To some extent, the cinemas are supposed to collaborate in marketing the movie because you want to bring people into your cinema. So what is the marketing like on your own end? Especially because cinemas do take a good chunk of money, right, from the ticket sales. So when you have somebody like Jennifer who's wearing multiple hats, you're a producer, you're a director, you're a writer, you're in costuming, all of these things and whatever, it's kind of hard for you to sit down and watch your shit not do well, right? So you're going to start thinking of ideas of how to do it. But Kunle Afolayan, for example, has completely left like the front of the screen to some extent and is really just a producer and director and just wants to make his movies. You guys figure out the marketing, but it's clear that the people that are meant to figure out the marketing are not doing a good job at it. So a lot of producers are having to step in. Tonya Amako is a producer, a director, and an actress in the movie. You have Yabo Ojutu producing, directing, and starring in her own. So a lot of people are now forced to produce, you direct, you star in your movie. And then in order to make sure that your movie is a success, you have to put in all this effort into marketing, and all of that. And I think generally speaking, most people are just saying that it can take a toll on you. It will take a toll on you. You're going to cinemas across the country. You're traveling to all these places and all of that. You're paying your talents to go to all these places as the producer, right, of the movie or the director, whatever you are. You're paying if Timini has to come to Abuja now to do, you're going to fly Timini, is at your expense because that's not, his work.
That's probably where the money is going.
Yeah, like yeah. So I wanted to quickly give an insight into how box office revenue is done. Split. So what is shared between cinema operators, which we like in Nollywood terms are called exhibitors, and then the distributors. So Nollywood uses a sliding scale. In the first week, revenue is split 50-50, right? Mm-hmm. That's exhibitors get 50, distributors get 50%. In the second week, distributors receive 45%, while cinemas take 55%. Are you already seeing problem? From the third week onwards, the ratio is split 40-60, 40% for distributors and 60% for cinemas. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is something I got from TVC News, so I want to believe that it is accurate, and it's something that I've heard a few people say. Now, from that distribution's portion of the money, right, there are still further deductions that are made before the producer gets paid out. So there's distribution fees, which is about 10-15% of that money that distributors have made. And then there's withholding tax of about 10%. So after all of this, producers typically end up going home with about 30-40% of the total box office gross. So as a producer, you get 30-40% of the box office gross. It's the people that invested in your movie, because a lot of times it's not just one producer, right? The people that invested in your movie and give you 100 million, give you 50 million, give you 5 million, whatever you promise them as their ROI, you pay it out from what you have received. From that 30-40%. Do you get what I mean? You pay them out from that, right? And then when you now take how much it costs you to do your entire film, including marketing, aka flying your talents across the country from Abuja to Lagos to Delta to Ibadan to all of this, put in transportation, put in feeding, put in all of that stuff, costume for even, because you see when they do skits and all of this stuff, they wear the same shirts, all of those things.
So yeah, here's the thing. That's why I was saying, like, it's really hard to break even if you have a big score. So, like, a movie like this is just half a Terrace research. Like, anybody in the comments can chip in as it. And apparently, they said behind the scene, their production budget was like about 1 billion naira. I don't know if it's true. there are sites saying like even Funke has said this. So let's say they made 2 billion, and to Vanessa's point, you're only taking home 30%. She hasn't quite broken even just yet, if that's true, like if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think
Sounding
the biggest issue, I don't know if I don't really know all these figures are correct, but I think there are like lots of figures saying that movie has made like 2 point something billion, right? But let's say like they spent 500 mil, then obviously it's fine. I just think like it's like some of these issues, what's always interesting is I'm not like super dialed into like how movie business works, but I do know like generally they say cinemas make money on concessions, one. And then two, concessions mean like that's why the food is overpriced and things
The
like
snacks and
that. Yeah. And then two, the sliding scale that Vanessa is talking about, I feel like generally speaking, like depending on the power of the studio house, usually in the first few weeks, which is when a lot of people actually flock to go and watch the movie, the producer slash studio house, not the cinema, makes a bit more. And then it kind of slides back as the movie like starts wearing out in the cinema, right? So in that first week, you want to make like 55. It should be like a
you want
split
most of your
slightly.
people to come out and see it in the first week so that you can get the chunk of the money.
So I think that's these things that we're saying, this is like the biggest issues that they kind of need to fix. Cause like, I mean, we all like Netflix and everything, but like, Netflix is great. Netflix gives you like, I don't know, let me not say, but my understanding is like Netflix gives you a boatload of money upfront, make the movie, and you know, they basically own the content pretty much. Like depending on, there are scenarios where Netflix wouldn't own the movie rights. But for like cinemas, you still make a lot of money on the back end. Like the movie keeps showing, you can take it to other cinemas, you can like do a lot of things with it. And like 10 years down the line, you might be getting some royalties from it. So I think it is important for studio houses and the whole industry generally to figure out how blockbuster movies remain in the cinema rather than just staying like on streaming sites for a long time. Because eventually that's actually, you make more money in cinema generally everywhere. And then two, you still make more money over the years. That's how I see it. But I mean, I may be wrong. Anyone can come to chat. So I think that's the big issue. So like, I feel like marketing is great, you know, let's talk about it. But I honestly think that everyone should be involved in like trying to make sure the movie is marketed right. Even the production house, I don't see it as a good thing that they're like, oh, you know, I don't want to dance. Okay, you don't want to dance, but do something else. Like try and market your movie.
Yeah, they'll
like
do other things. And that's what they're saying. Like we would go about town, but we don't. I think the truth of the matter is this: if we're keeping it down to economics and down to numbers and finances, all cinema movies are making 1 billion or 2 billion, and I think that's where the real problem lies. While people are doing 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion, whatever,
which is not a lot though, if you think about it in dollars.
It sounds like a lot of money, but the problem is that cinema goers or cinema viewership has not increased. In fact, it has reduced.
How many cinemas even exist?
I think there are about 300 cinemas in the country right now.
Does this include like Best Cinema, Gigi, and cinemas like that? 300 sounds like a lot.
But even at that, those cinemas are not full all the time. The places that maybe see full cinemas are like Lagos and Abuja, you know. I don't know that the cinemas in Abuja are full even when a blockbuster is coming out, you know what I mean? But they still have the same operational cost and the same overhead cost that a cinema in Lagos is going to have. So the truth of the matter is, until we can get cinema viewership to increase, then we cannot get any further. Or we get the economic situation, which is out of our control, in the country to increase so that people have more disposable income and want to go to the cinema. The problem is, if I don't have disposable income, if I don't have 4,000 naira, if I don't have 16,000 naira, if I don't have 85, going to the cinema is a list of my priorities. And if I go once and they tell me that it's not the time, or the KDM is, and I'll just take it as a sign from God that I'm moment to spend 85, and maybe I'll just go home. That's the truth. I'm being very honest, and I'm speaking from my own, like the Inedo movie. I never went back to see it because I'm like, I can't be chasing to spend my own money. It's not going to work. It's not going to click. So there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had on what is the market cap for Nollywood right now in terms of cinema, right? How many people are actually going to the cinemas? It's great. You're jumping. And I think because also the producers of these films are so fixated on how much they make, they're not actually looking at the viewership. You hardly hear them say, oh, the viewership of our movie was low or whatever. They won't come out and tell you that, but they'll come out and tell you that they made 1 billion. Well, how many of that 1 billion, how many people went to see the movie? When you divide that 1 billion by the base fee of 8,500 naira, let's be realistic. In a country of allegedly 200 million people, how many people went to see your movie? I think that when we're able to have more conversations about things like that, we'll see more progress and people won't be so enamored by the fact that, oh, your movie hits 1 billion or it's good that it hits 1 billion or 2 billion. But if we're keeping it a buck, you should be doing more than that based on the number of people that are in this country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the main issue right there. That's the issue.
I think, yeah, so it's, I mean, it looks like there is a lot to deep dive into with regards to Nollywood. Very interesting, but we just need to move on to we need to move on to
Yeah,
this whole
Nollywood
thing
problems are too much. Sorry.
Slightly
Yeah,
less depressing issues.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for the breakdown of that, Vanessa. This whole thing is just reminding me of you know what, the Tyler Davido debates in terms of people don't
Oh my
have the
God.
right facts, right? I don't even think we need to spend too much time on it, but I just thought it was an interesting one. But people being upset, maybe people not looking into the actual details of things, right? The whole Tyler versus Davido winning the Grammys. People forget about for example, how people vote for songs, the people who are in the Recording Academy Awards, I think that's what it's called. The people that vote, how those decisions are made. The fact that outside of like the African population, the Black population, Tyler has a pretty big following outside of that, right? So that then ties into people who are voting. If a lot of people who are voting are not Nigerian or they're not Africans or they're not, I don't know, Black, or they're not part of the Black diaspora, that also affects sort of the turnout of awards. So I just think that I think knowing what is going on behind the scenes kind of helps with conversations like this. I don't even want to spend too much time on the entertainment industry in Nigeria. I feel like yeah,
Go on, RJ. My bad.
we cover quite a bit. We cover them quite a bit here, and I don't want to spend too much because I feel like every time there's always a new level of nonsense revealed, and it can be a bit frustrating. But Shaman, you wanted to say something?
No, I was going to say that I feel like this topic has been flogged extensively online. So to all this point, I don't think we spent so much time on it. My only thing is, and I'm sure we've talked about this, even three of us before, I think it's something we just need to get our stuff right, like fix our own shit, really. Like this whole, like, oh my God, it's the Grammys and they're all like trying to vie over this award. These people are not tapped in. Their voters are not your vote, like they're not you.
Yeah.
And it plays in other, like, remember what happened to Kendrick and all this. It plays in other subgenres where they're not tapped in as well. So are we surprised that the person who won the award is the more commercially successful person in the US
globally
with the Grammy, who are the people who won the Grammys? Like, we shouldn't be surprised. That shouldn't be surprising. Like, so I don't think much there other than like, we should like figure out our own awards, figure out our own systems and promote those. And like there was remember when Despacito didn't win like Song of the Year? It was completely like just like shut out in the Grammys. So none of this is surprising, honestly.
Yeah.
None of this is surprising. If we don't have our own stuff that we hold ourselves, that we hold high, then we're just wasting our time talking about somebody else's.
And she'll probably win
somebody else's house.
She'll probably win next year. That Chanel song that was everywhere. That's probably what she'll win with next year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
not a great musician. She's pretty good too. So let's not like, oh my God, people are like, oh my God.
Yeah, no. She's
but it's
pretty
just what
good.
Yeah. But it's just like what we like listen to and what the voters in the US are listening to / what want to hear.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect. They're not
There's
tired.
a disconnect. Yeah. I know Nigerians have a good thing about living in their own bubble. So and they think their bubble is reality.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah, so it's very interesting. So I think just when it comes to these things, it's easy to come on social media and just say whatever comes to mind or be upset because your fave isn't you feel like your fave is being victimized or whatever. But sometimes you really have to look at what's going on behind the scenes and maybe understand the nuances that exist there. When it comes to this the entertainment space right now, it's things are in flux. Movies. It'll be interesting to see how Nollywood evolves in 5, 10 years. It'll be interesting to see how Afrobeats or let's just say African artists, how they evolve in 5 to 10 years as well, considering that now there is a global stage. Maybe not so much for Nollywood, but definitely for like Afrobeat and Amapiano and Co. There is a global
I
stage. So it'll
mean,
be
there's a
interesting to see
global
how.
for all of them.
Yeah,
We
for
just
yeah,
need to get our structures right. Just need to
yeah,
get
Yeah,
because listen, all these movies, them ELG, they're doing rounds in Odeon Cinema in Greenwich in UK. They are doing rounds in Canada. There is a global
mm,
audience, there's a global appetite. The more Nigerians are moving abroad, there's a global appetite for everything. But until
yeah.
we have our structures right at home, we cannot focus on anything else because your primary audience still remains Nigeria. If you're not
Nigerian.
capturing your primary audience enough or whatever, mm-mm, mm-mm. They say charity begins at home, so I have to start at home before we can now be going to other places.
Well said. So true. Yeah, it's anyway. I think on current events. So apparently, we're talking about just the other day. We're discussing about like fraud in Nigeria and how some scammers where they were arrested or something like that. I honestly do
They were
not know what.
exposed.
Oh, they were not
they were
arrested. They were
exposed.
exposed. See, this
The
is.
one that I know of is the
Mm.
something Henry Oji, Abi Lucky Oji EKG or something like that. He was exposed for scamming some Romanian lady of 2.5 million
Oh
euros
yeah,
Abi
I saw
pounds.
that.
But listen,
I saw that. Yeah, and he was
yeah, there's a whole
arrested. Yeah,
12 minutes docu. I don't think he has been arrested though. He has not been
I thought they
arrested.
found
It's
him
just a
and then
12-minute
they held him.
documentary. They found
Oh,
him and they spoke to him, but they did not arrest him because I believe the Romanian authorities have to press charges or something like that. I
okay,
don't remember. I get the story because the
okay.
money was sent to the UK and the UK people were able to help her retrieve some of it, but they're like now to
Mhm.
press
Oh,
charges
they
or something
retrieved
like
some of it.
she retrieved about £115,000. But to press
That's
Nice.
good
charges, you have
news.
to now, the Romanian authorities have to press charges. So they are currently investigating, is what they said, and they don't want to talk about it because of the
Yeah,
sensitivity or like of the case and all of that. Again,
yeah.
I
This
think,
is.
I need
I
to be
mean, what's
right.
always interesting about all this scamming is not, I mean, the scams themselves and they are pretty diabolical slash harsh. But I think it's like that in Nigeria, it's really like we kind of worship money. That's really the truth.
We
So,
do. Yeah,
like,
we do.
people have money, we don't care what they're
Kinda,
doing.
kinda. Hmm.
We do.
We don't care what they are doing. Like, you can see that, oh, this politician is stealing your whatever. But, like, like, this guy. It's so fraud money in Nigeria. Like you can tell, oh, this person is a Yahoo boy. You don't mind. Is your brother, is your sister. In fact, you're even proud. Ah, my guy just cash out. Maybe we'll go lodge. That's the next thing. Let's go and lodge. They will go and do Thanksgiving in church. They will pray for the who cares? Like, oh, I don't
It's
know. I just
very.
feel like there's no shame for bad things in Nigeria a lot of times. Except it's really, really diabolical. Like, there's no shame.
You're absolutely right. I think that we worship money. We know people that are scammers in Nigeria. We don't do it. It's almost like, I'm not saying that they don't get arrested, but I think there needs to be more done because this thing is also affecting Nigerians abroad as well, right? Because when we may not be in the top three of countries that have the most fraud activity or whatever, but people still think it's almost like we're number one at the top of a lot of people's minds. Like there is negative, there are stereotypes negative that affecting Nigerians negatively, especially abroad, like sending things abroad, all of that. I mean, it even ties into the whole PayPal coming to Nigeria. You know, there was a big controversy about how PayPal is now available in Nigeria. Nigerians were complaining about how they never really provided their services in Nigeria because I think fraud was the reason why they were using as a reason for not providing that service. And now Nigerians are like, oh, now that you feel, I don't know, that for some reason you're now coming to Nigeria to try and boost your revenue or whatever, and some Nigerians are kicking back against it. I'm not saying that what PayPal did is right, but I think it negatively affects people. Like even when a person is innocent or just living their lives, there's still this stereotype that attaches to them just because they're Nigerian. I think we're lucky that we're in an age where our movies and our music is, and there are people in Nigeria that are, they're Nigerians doing so well globally. Because before it used to be just fraud. When you talk about Nigerian prince, Nigerian romance scam, that's what they used to talk about. They used to use to describe Nigerians. But now other things are coming in to kind of push us into a more positive light. But there is still the stereotype, there's still the negative impact of what these fraudsters are doing. And I just think the fact that Nigerians worship money so much that they're okay with somebody doing this is really bad. And the truth is, it's not just foreigners they're scamming, they're also scamming Nigerians as well. When they're trying to defraud people, they're not asking, oh, by the way, are you Nigerian? Are you Nigerian? Are you African? No, they're not doing that. They just defraud you, and if your money goes, your money goes, So I just don't understand why we are so lackadaisical. Our attitude towards fraudsters in Nigeria is just so. And I know people are
We need to bring
struggling.
shit.
That's what they are doing into it. Yeah, there are even farms now. They're training young people to go into fraud. So this is going to, and the more the economy declines, the more of a problem this is going to be down the line in a few years. So we are looking at a serious problem, and we are just laughing and smiling, and we're popping bottles with them in the clubs, not knowing that this is something that could really be a problem. So it's true now. Like, these people they're living lavish, spending on people. And look at Hush Puppy. People were supporting him back then. If you come for him, oh, you're just jealous, blah,
When
blah, 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 blah.
Oshpopi comes back,
What? He got arrested.
when Oshpopi
So
comes back, that guy will be celebrated. People
they'll
might
do
be
a
at the
parade for him
airport
in Lagos.
jumping.
Yeah. Yeah.
People might
It's
be at the
not.
airport welcoming him. The guy might even run for elections in Nigeria and win. So, like, I mean, the broader issue really is that the country's economy is in the shitter, and
Yeah.
people are turning to crime and all those. Obviously, that's the root cause. And there's poverty in the land
Yeah.
that's leading to all this kind of bad behavior. But I still
Yeah.
don't understand why we are in love.
Poverty in the land.
You'll be laughing. Like, people are.
I don't understand why we're in love with this thing so much. Like, we're like, we don't care. Like, yeah, they'll come back, we'll sing for them, we'll start calling them names, Agbabiaka, all sorts of things like that. So, anyways, it is what it is.
That's crazy.
It
is what it is. So,
yeah, but I hope it won't be what it is soon. But anyway, moving on to
I'm not holding any.
I just feel like today it's been one problem to another with regards to work first, because now we're moving on to something just so sad, so heartbreaking. The attacks that happened in Kwara State. I think it was over 100 people that lost their lives. This is just to say, we're just sending our prayers to those. It is devastating. We're in a new year, but it feels like it's still the same thing that's going on, and we're hoping that soon a resolution. Honestly, I don't even know. I just feel like it just feels so surreal. I don't know. It feels surreal to see that it's happening.
It's really sad.
Yeah, some US
sad way to start your year.
now. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think one of our previous episodes, we really talked about the insecurity in the nation. And we're probably, as Nigerians, going to be talking about this for a long time until this thing gets solved, if it will ever get solved.
I don't like hearing that.
It is what it is. Some prayers go to the families and everyone who was affected.
Well, they said
happened. So
they said some US troops have landed or something. So let's see how that turns out. Let's see how that turns out, and let's hope.
Yeah, but I don't think they are going into any I don't think they're going into any combat. But yeah, let's see how it turns out.
Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of all these things, sometimes they're also, they feel so stage managed, like, oh, we're making this like, oh, and
they're performative.
Like, and I just feel like we're not serious people. When serious people start doing things, you see results.
Yeah, when you say that a lot, we're not serious about it. I have to agree with you on that one. Honestly, it just feels like, are we really being serious? Are we really taking things? Are we taking accountability and then really taking things as serious as they need to be taken? And it's a bit exhausting, to be honest. But let's just move on to something lighter to round up the episode today. So we're going to go to our I saw a tweet this week. I saw a tweet is about ex-governor of Edo State, Oshomole. Sorry,
this is also looking sad if you think about it.
It is kind of sad.
It's not sad for me.
It's more ridiculous. I don't know.
Not an ounce of sadness from my end, Sha.
Why aren't you?
Oh,
Because
just
I
the
mean,
video.
like, what
It's
should I be
just
sad about?
ridiculous.
That is chopping money.
Yes.
That's he's massaging somebody's leg on a private jet. I beg,
Do you know when
I'll
I saw
expend
that?
my energy on something else, not on that.
You know, when I saw that video, yeah, I thought it was his wife that he was, because, you know, it's a video of him massaging. If you haven't seen the video, it's a video of him, actually, it's from the lady's point of view, right? She boards the jets and other things are happening. And then there's a video of her with a Shomala and he's massaging her leg, right? And people found that funny. I thought that was his wife, but apparently it turns out it's somebody else. So I was like, oh, he definitely has a type, because she looks just like his ex-wife. Or ex-wife? Wife? Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But I think it was just something funny and maybe, I guess, a bit lighthearted considering everything else that's going on in the country. And didn't she respond to a tweet someone sent towards her? I think so. I think she responded,
I
right?
did see a screenshot from her Instagram when she said, "I'm not your problem. Your senator is the problem," or some shit like that.
Yes.
She's
She
exactly right.
responded.
And apparently or allegedly, this is part of her MO. So again,
Like, what do you mean? She goes around scamming, going
which
on.
is why again I said I don't feel any shred of ounce of sadness or shred of
Wait, sorry, what
sadness.
do you mean it's not Vioma? I actually want to know.
Like exposing people that she's been with.
Really?
Oh, she
Yeah.
And they
exposes
still, like,
them.
they don't care.
Oh.
I
And
don't know
they
if
don't
it's to
care.
expose them in the way of like salacious, like, but like showing people that she's dating. Let me use that word.
Okay.
And
Okay.
these people, you would think that they want discreetness.
Yeah, I
You would
mean, they
assume
do
that they
want,
want it to be.
they probably want to be discreet, but that's not how life works unless you sign an agreement, right?
Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this. I'm always just like, the amount of money men spend on women, on like to get women, always astounds me. Like, I'm always in shock when I hear about all these things. I'm always like, why are you spending that much money? Like, what? I mean, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just not
I'm
understanding.
glad it's
But like,
I'm happy it's a
Maybe you
man
just
that's
don't have
saying.
no. I mean, let me say some more problematic things before you start saying you are glad. I find like
I'm
I
happy.
don't think you need to do all of this. Like, that's my main issue. Like, why? I don't know.
Maybe you don't.
Like, it's not
Maybe
your
you
wife.
don't. Well, maybe you don't. Some
Okay,
people feel
the
like
other
they
day,
need.
a few months ago, we are talking about somebody that wanted a Lamborghini. And now we're on this. So I'm just like, why do you need to, like, I don't know. I don't know why anyone would be like, yeah, private jet, like, I'm going to buy you a Chanel bag, Birkin. You are not my wife, you're not my girlfriend. You are just like somebody who I'm seeing for like a few weeks, maybe at best. Or maybe they're
Cutie.
long-term partners, who knows? And you have several of these.
That's true.
I understand.
Honestly, that topic is a very interesting.
It is well.
I don't know if we'll
And
ever
that's
be able
why
to
I don't
discuss
think there's
it
anything
on this
to.
podcast.
It's like, if you have a wife or girlfriend, you want to like show her buy nice things for her, right? That's where this is coming from. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just trying to
But
do a deep dive into
that's not
it.
his wife or girlfriend. That's not his wife or girlfriend.
Like I said,
Maybe
He just
I
wants to
personally
girlfriend.
don't
right.
think. I personally don't think there's much to discuss here. It's an old randy man having a good time. There is nothing to discuss. There's no need to feel sad. This is what happens. Why do I speak? Like, to me, I actually cackled because he really thought he was having a great time discreetly. Meanwhile, the world was enjoying the view with him. Yeah, so I cackled at it. I'm angry. Like,
So
I'm
what
angry.
happened? Did she put it on her story? Like, that's what happened, right?
Posted it now. Posted
Yeah.
it.
Posted
Yeah,
on social media.
exactly.
Yeah.
So why would I be sad over such?
Mhm.
Oh my god. That is
I mean,
ridiculous.
everybody involved had the time
As
of their
ridiculous
lives.
as it
So
gets.
Does anyone know where they were going to, coming from? Like, do we have more details
We
on
don't
it?
care about all those details. To be
honestly, I
honest, it
don't need
doesn't
to
add
know.
much to the flavor of the
It's just a
story.
funny little
I
video
don't need
that's,
to know where they were going, where
popped
they were
up.
coming from. The video is just funny
Mhm.
as a standalone. That's all I need to know. I don't want to even know
And
anything.
what would, like,
Yeah.
this is just the one we see. Anyways, it's all right. It's all good. I
As
mean,
well.
this is why people are not able to go to the cinema. If we're being honest, you can draw a line from this to why Kunle Afolayan doesn't want to dance.
I don't want to go and dance to the cinema, Shabon, please, because there's no money for people
Shaman, I'm
to.
not serious.
No, but I'm serious. You can draw a line from this to why people are not able to go to the cinema. But it's all right. It's all good. Yeah.
As well.
Anyways, Over
Yeah,
to
so
you,
that's it.
dear.
That's it from us for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Just coming back into 2026, we're looking forward to. We're excited to what's coming this year, and we're really looking forward to it. But for now, we'll have to say goodbye and wish you all the best. See you next time, and happy Valentine's Day whenever you listen to this, be it
So
before or
long,
after.
farewell. Now we to say
Okay,
goodbye.
That's how we
bye.
sing.
You can follow us on Instagram at
I
the Three
don't know.
Commoners. Subscribe to
Follow
our
us on IG.
pages,
Hit that
Spotify,
subscribe
Apple,
button.
Google, Spotify. We look
That's
forward to
right.
seeing you and connecting with you. And take care, folks.
Besos. Bye.